Elizabeth Reiters lives in Johannesburg, in Eldorado Park on the outskirts of Soweto, with her sister and her nephew. Like most of her neighbours, they are unemployed and struggle to find any work because of discrimination over their gender, ethnicity and age.
Because I work on the ground with beneficiaries, I've picked up on a lot of cases where people only maybe have a 200 rand in their bank account and they actually get declined by the government because of their 200 rand in their bank account. Like it's too much, yet the threshold is 624 rand. The SRD grant used to be the COVID grant before. It was introduced in 2020 when COVID came, and a lot of people lost their jobs. And the government came up with a COVID grant, SRD COVID grant, which was 315 2020. By that time, there wasn't any red tape in receiving the grant. If you're unemployed or you were at home during COVID and not earning a salary, because it happened to a lot of people that they were not paid when they were because they were not going to work. So the government thought that was a mechanism for people to like cope and put some food on the table. But then as time went on, they started extending it every year. But it was 350 rand for the past 3 years, and we currently have a court case against the government, ourselves and our partners, Institute for Economic Justice, because there's so much red tape now around the grant that beneficiaries are really not accessing this grant. What I think is we definitely do need job creation, as there's no jobs, so we need job creations. But I think if a universal basic income grant is introduced, that money will be taken, because if I have to receive the universal basic income grant, I will always start selling small things from my home, and that will also boost the economy, and it will also make sure that I have the proper nutrition and earn more money.
Isabel Fry is the director of the Social Policy Initiative.
Now, the point about poverty, particularly in South Africa, but across the world in this day and age, is that poverty is a construct that is generated. It's not due to an individual's pathological laziness or some sense of moral weakness within them. So if you look at South Africa, the poverty affects 55% of the population. So more than 55, well, above 55% now because of COVID, of people don't have enough income to meet the upper bound poverty line. What are people like that meant to do when they're not able to meet their basic needs? And that's where the idea of basic income comes in. It meets people's need, but it gives people sufficient access to be able to support livelihoods, as I was saying, that happen within their neighborhoods. In addition to that, there have been a number of studies globally that show that households that are in receipt of income, basic income, cash transfers, are more likely to be able to go out and look for jobs because firstly, they have the reassurance that money that they use to look for jobs they will receive back the following month. It's not the risk on using money to look for a job is not as high as if that is the only income that you have in your pocket.
Elizabeth, her sister and neighbours strongly agree.
So I think a universal basic income grant is very important, because right now they're only giving 370 rand. And with the cost of living in South Africa, 370 rand only buys food for 2 days. So I do think if they can introduce the universal basic income grant for people like us, because we are too young to receive old age grants and we are too old to get jobs, because even the job criteria in South Africa, it's 18 to 35 years. So if you're over 35 years, it's even a bigger struggle to find a job, because I don't know why they have that age criteria. So I don't know how the government expect us at my age, how we should survive and how we should carry on with life. Yet it's our constitutional right to get social assistance when we can't support ourselves. Especially when it comes to the children's grant, like when the parents don't have